It always feels good when you are appreciated. SLT non-stop broadband. Free loyalty data added as you stay connected.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, limits of the judiciary. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa insists that the judiciary must not obstruct development efforts.
It is therefore important judiciary does not obstruct the development effort undertaken by the executive.
US bellicose. Sri Lanka hits back at US interference in domestic matters as US expresses commitment to accountability over sanctioning Sri Lanka's army commander. Disregarding Western rhetoric, Sri Lanka urged to follow in the footsteps of Malaysia in achieving its ambitious development goals.
And you're in the center, you are the pearl of the Orient, and you will become. And whoever is willing to help the country's growth must be given a hand.
All that and much more coming up on First at 9, this Saturday the 15th of February 2020.
මේ 69යි 97ට SMS කර රුපියල් මිලියන 3ක මුල්තැන්ගේ උපකරණ දිනාගෙන අවුරුද්දෙම කුස්සිය ටයිම් සේව් කරගන්න.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamake Knayaka. Now, the US State Department yesterday announced the official designation of Army Commander and Acting Chief of Defence Staff Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva, preventing him or members of his immediate family from travelling to the United States. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo cited credible information from the United Nations and other organizations alleging war crimes and human rights violations by the Army Commander as the reason for the travel ban. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs voiced objections to the travel restrictions based on independently unverified information and expressed disappointment that a foreign government should question the prerogative of a democratically elected president to call upon persons with proven expertise to hold key positions on national security-related matters.
The United States Department of State yesterday decided to slap travel restrictions on Sri Lanka's Army Commander and Acting Chief of Defence Staff Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva and his immediate family members under Section 7031C of the Department of State Foreign Operations and Related Programs Appropriations Act. In the official statement released yesterday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo cited credible information of Lieutenant General Silva's involvement through command responsibility in gross violations of human rights, namely extrajudicial killings by the 58th Division of the Sri Lanka Army during the final phase of Sri Lanka's civil war in 2009. The statement added that the United States will continue to use all available tools and authorities to address human rights violations and abuses around the world, no matter when they occurred or who perpetrated them, and that today's actions underscore its commitment to support human rights, promote accountability for perpetrators, and encourage reconciliation in support of a peaceful, stable and prosperous Sri Lanka. The government, meanwhile, hit back at the announcement in a statement via the Foreign Ministry, stating that it takes strong objection to the imposition of travel restrictions on Lieutenant General Silva and his immediate family members by the government of the United States based on independently unverified information. The statement pointed out that Lieutenant General Silva was appointed as Army Commander by the then Head of State based on seniority, and that there were no substantiated or proven allegations of human rights violations against him. It added that his elevation as the Acting Chief of Defence Staff by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was also on account of his being the most senior serving military officer. The statement also said that the imposition of such restrictions on Lieutenant General Silva just 6 months after his appointment as Army Commander was concerning, and expressed disappointment that a foreign government should question the prerogative of a democratically elected president to call upon persons with proven expertise to hold key positions on national security-related matters. The government also called on the United States to verify the authenticity of its so-called credible information and to review its decision. The US State Department statement cited as serious and credible allegations of serious human rights violations against the Army Commander documented by the United Nations and other organizations. When contacted by First at 9 today, US Embassy spokesman Nancy Van Horn said that the US is committed to promoting accountability for those involved in gross violations of human rights. She added that it also remains dedicated to strengthening the bilateral relationship with Sri Lanka, including on defense and security, and to promoting peace, prosperity and stability throughout the region. Secretary Pompeo's statement on championing the cause of global human rights comes in the backdrop of the US being the only state alongside North Korea, Iran and Eritrea to refuse to participate in United Nations Human Rights Council meetings and deliberations since pulling out of the UNHCR in 2018. Meanwhile, the US designation of Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva comes in the backdrop of Sri Lanka's refusal to agree to external deadlines for the achieving of its goals in the post-war reconciliation process. Sri Lanka's permanent representative to the United Nations, Shenuka Senviratne, told the UN Security Council that the imposition of such deadlines by external forces hinders the reconciliation process due to them not taking into consideration ground realities. These remarks came as she addressed the Security Council's open debate on peace building and sustaining peace, transitional justice in conflict and post-conflict situations on Thursday.
Now, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that the judicial independence is essential to the country. However, judiciary must not obstruct development efforts undertaken by the executive to ensure the well-being and prosperity of the people.
The National Law Conference.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa addressed the National Law Conference 2020 held yesterday in Negombo, where he called for the country's laws to be in line with internationally accepted norms if the country wants to achieve the status of a properly functioning commercial and financial hub.
For us to become a properly functioning financial and commercial hub, our laws must be consonance with the internationally accepted norms, must be efficient, and the judiciary must remain independent. Any system is a reflection of the participating stakeholders. This is true even in the case of the executive, legislature, and judiciary, businesses, or any other domain. While all stakeholders within the domain of justice can be proud of the Sri Lankan judicial system, particularly the milestone it has reached over a period of time, it is also time for us to reflect whether the Sri Lankan system of justice had been able to work as an efficient and effective mechanism to provide redress for the problems faced by our citizens. The judiciary over the years has been able to maintain the rule of law and safeguard the constitutional governance, but we must reflect upon the present status quo as to the availability. It is therefore important judiciary does not obstruct the development effort undertaken by the executive to ensure the well-being and prosperity of the people.
Now then, Sri Lanka is urged to follow in the footsteps of Malaysia and achieve its development goals by partnering up with whoever is willing to help the country develop, disregarding any possible anti-Sri Lankan criticism, especially from the West. Former Deputy Minister of Malaysian Prime Minister's Office, Dr. S.K. Devamani, made the remark as he spoke to Indira Yamuwath on our current affairs program at Hyde Park on AdaDerana 24. The former Malaysian Deputy Minister also gave hope to the country, saying Sri Lanka can yet again become the Pearl of the Orient, which it once was.
In Sri Lanka too, we're looking at a longer term vision where we can position Sri Lanka as a hub, not just in South Asia, but in the entire region of Asia, just as much as all these superpowers are interested in this strategically located island nation. I'm sure you have observations of where we will be, how we can direct our policies in order to take us towards this vision.
Fundamentally, what Sri Lanka needs is stability, political stability. So you need leadership for a longer period of time to plan, to execute, and also to see the results. The people, for example, should be very careful with fake news. The fake news culture is moving in a very unprecedented speed, and this can decide the growth or the destruction of any leadership in country. That we can see in the US, we can see in UK, even in Canada, and in France. Macron used to be popular, he's no more. Trudeau, everybody is facing this challenge. And so much so that the leadership is becoming very short-term leadership, and that cannot bring change. Fundamentally, things which are right has to be supported. So the citizens has to be responsible. The civil society has to be responsible. The politicians has to be responsible. They have to be responsible towards what is going to be done and whether fundamentally is correct. Of course, tax exemption and all that or reforms are important because it reduces the burden of the people. And people are very much instant gratification seeking. And you're in the center, you are the pearl of the Orient, and you will become. And whoever is willing to help the country's growth must be given a hand. Even though there will be protests, there will be anti-Sri Lankan voice from some certain parties from the Western world. First is infrastructure development. You got to have massive infrastructure development. The war is no more going to be between countries. The war is going to be between cities. Kuala Lumpur is going to challenge Manila. Manila is going to challenge Bangkok. Bangkok is going to challenge Jakarta in terms of cosmopolitan culture. And that requires fantastic infrastructure, fantastic culture of the people who know how to use the toilets and the roads properly, the culture, the civilization process. That will grow the people. And infrastructure is so important. And you already have an agricultural hub. And your strength is organic agriculture, your spices. And the world is seeking organic materials like this. So I think you are sitting on an agricultural revolution here. So you have to have your own identity, your own pathway. You cannot be disturbed by criticism from outside. You have to have your clear direction, and of course you have a young population. So we given all that, I think, and I know that Sri Lanka has got brains.
We're also juggling superpowers. Are we doing it right? Port City project, China's massive involvement, and then other superpowers feeling threatened.
Basically, people are getting jittery in the Western world. The developed country are going to find India, China, and the Asian tigers growing to become economic powers, and this is actually fear. So anybody who is close to China or these superpowers will become a threat to them. So there will be a lot of this criticism coming, but you have to stand firm. Nationalism and the importance for Sri Lanka, the heartbeat of Sri Lanka, can never be compromised. The way Malaysia took a stand. We work with anybody who is willing to work with us, to grow us together. They are not a political threat. They can give support for economic growth, which can allow modernization and job creation for the people. What is wrong? So what is the intent? Is it to give away your nationhood, your spirit of nationalism, or actually to grow your nation? If that heartbeat is correct, the sanctum sanctorium is right.
We'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, there is still no sign of the spread of the novel coronavirus peaking as China yet again broke the record for the overnight death toll. 143 people had perished by this morning, putting the overall death toll in mainland China at 1,523. Meanwhile, the first death outside Asia was also reported today as France confirmed the death of a coronavirus patient.
With China and other countries across the world having taken strict measures to contain the spread of the novel coronavirus COVID-19, the death toll as of today has risen to 1,523, with China's National Health Commission reporting 143 overnight fatalities from the virus within the mainland. It also confirmed that the total number of confirmed cases in the country has risen to 66,492. Beijing has ordered everyone returning to the city to go into quarantine for 14 days or risk punishment in the latest attempt to contain the deadly novel coronavirus. The measure came as Egypt confirmed the first coronavirus case in Africa. Meanwhile, France reported its first death from the virus, which marks the first fatality from the virus outside Asia. According to the French health minister, the victim was an 80-year-old woman from China's Hubei province. This is the fourth life claimed by the virus outside mainland China, joining Hong Kong, Philippines and Japan in reporting fatalities. The Director General of the World Health Organization has said that the global body will lead a mission with Chinese counterparts to focus on the severity of the virus and how the new coronavirus is spreading.
I'm glad to say that the WHO-led joint mission with China on COVID-19 is moving forward. We expect the full team to touch down over the weekend. The mission consists of 12 international and WHO experts and a similar number of national expert counterparts from China.
Following the deadly outbreak, traditional Chinese medicine universities and hospitals across China have sent 2,220 medical workers to central China's Hubei province to help combat the novel coronavirus outbreak. Meanwhile, an event organized to reunite the 33 Sri Lankan students who were flown back from Wuhan in China with their families was held under the patronage of Commander of the Army Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva yesterday. The event took place at the Army headquarters in Akuregoda. After their arrival in the island, the students were kept under strict quarantine for 14 days in a special unit set up in the Diyatalava Army camp. They were greeted by the Sri Lankan Airlines crew who flew them out of Wuhan as they prepared to leave. The group of students were allowed to leave as they did not show any symptoms of the novel coronavirus during the 14-day quarantine period.
In the meantime, a special mass was held today at St. Anthony's Church in Kochikade with Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, presiding over the service to invoke blessings on the Chinese people and the government in the wake of their battle against the COVID-19 outbreak.
Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, held a special mass at St. Anthony's Church in Kochikade today to invoke blessings on the Chinese government and its people.
Today we gather together to celebrate this Eucharist in order to pray to the Lord to commend the souls of all those who have passed away due to the corona infection, and may the Lord give us courage to face up to this moment of sadness when we have lost so many of our brothers and sisters, human beings.
During his sermon, the Cardinal paid tribute to the Chinese government, thanking them for all the assistance provided to Sri Lanka.
We like to thank the Chinese government for all the help that you are giving us in all these projects that we are doing, and also we like to thank the Chinese government for protecting our citizens and for allowing the 33 young people to come back to Ceylon, Sri Lanka, safe and sound. Thank you very much for your concern for our country. May God bless China and its leaders and all its people, and may God help to heal these wounds, these sicknesses from the earth, and make the earth a better place for everyone.
Also present at the service was Chinese Embassy spokesman Hu Wei, who stated the appreciation of the Chinese government for the support displayed by Sri Lanka during China's time of need, and using an old adage, a friend in need is a friend indeed, he predicted a bright future for Sri Lanka and China.
We feel very grateful because today, just as His Eminence Cardinal said, we are human beings. The hurt to another part of us, we feel sad for that too. So in the past few weeks, we feel very grateful because here in Sri Lanka, no matter people are from which place, which religions and which nation, they all support China, support us, and we are grateful. We thank you very much. And a friend in need is a friend indeed. Chinese people cherish this friendship with Sri Lanka people, and we cherish your support. We are thankful, and we think with the strictest measures, the most strict measures taken by Chinese government, the situation in China now is under control. So after we defeat this disease with your support, after that, there will be a bright future for no matter the Chinese economics and also the relations between our two countries.
Moving on with other local stories, an extraordinary Gazette notification was issued yesterday for the establishment of a separate urban council in Saindamarudu. Minister of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government Janaka Bandara Tennakon issued the Gazette notification by virtue of the powers vested in him by Section 2, 3 and 9 of the Urban Councils Ordinance.
An extraordinary Gazette notification has been issued for the establishment of a new separate urban council for Saindamarudu. Minister of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government, Janaka Bandara Tennakon, issued the relevant Gazette notification yesterday. The term of office of the Saindamarudu Urban Council will accordingly commence on the 20th of March 2022, the Gazette notification noted. The Minister has also dissolved the Kalmane Municipal Council in order to vary the limits of the council and for the purpose of constituting new local authorities with effect from 19 March 2022. The administrative boundaries of the Saindamarudu Urban Council will be as specified in the Gazette notification. The Kalmane area has a total of 383,923 residents, including a total of 268,058 Muslims, 110,856 Tamils and 4,093 Sinhalese people residing in the area. The move was taken as Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa had promised during the presidential elections to establish Saindamarudu with its own urban council.
Now, following the meeting that took place yesterday between opposition leader Sajid Premadas and UMP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe, representing the two opposing factions within the party, a decision on the symbol was yet to be finalised, with questions still rife on whether it will be the elephant or the swan. The party's alliance name was revealed as the Samagi Janabalawega.
එකකට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා පොදු ලකුණක් යටතේ සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වය යටතේ ඒ වගේම රංජිත් බන්දුම්බණ්ඩාර මැතිතුමාගේ ලේකම් ධූර යටතේ මේ සන්ධානයේ පුරුල් සන්ධානයේ යටතේ අපි තරඟ කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒකේ වැඩ කටයුතු ඉවර කරන්න තමයි අපි මැතිවරණ කොමසාරිස් මහමුනේ. පොදු ලකුණකට අපි එනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අලියා වෙන්න පුළුවන් හංසයා වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය බොහොම සමගි සම්පන්නව අවසාන තීන්දුවකට ආවා. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වයෙන් සමගි ජනබලවේගයේ යටතේ තරඟ කරන්න අපි තීරණය කළා. ඉදිරියේදී අපි ලාංඡනය තෝරන කොහොමත් ලාංඡනය අපිට තෝරන්න වෙන්නේ මැතිවරණ ප්‍රකාශයටපත් වුණායින් පස්සේ හදවත අලියා හංසයා තව කීපයක් යෝජනා වුණා.
දැන් ඔබතුමාලා අපි දැක්ක මේ මැතිවරණ කොමසාරිස්තුමාත් අද අවස හම්බුණා.
තොරතුරු විමසුවක් කොහොමද ලාංඡනයක් වෙනස් කරනවා නම් වෙනස් කරන්නේ? දැන් අපි කියමුකෝ අලියා මේකට ගන්නවා නම් කොහොමද ගන්නේ? අවශ්‍ය තොරතුරු උපදෙස් ගත්ත ඇතරින්.
බොහෝ දුරට හංසයෙන් තමයි ඔබතුමාලා ඉන්නේ නේ.
ඒක මට දැම්ම කියන්න බෑ.
We will see you again after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is First at 9. Now, a senior official with the China Securities Regulatory Commission said that Chinese share market has withstood the impact of the novel coronavirus and the market has basically come back to normal. The securities regulator has offered full support to financing of companies in worst hit areas and those who engaged in combating the epidemic. Meanwhile, stock markets across the world also ticked higher yesterday as investors bet that the damage to the global economy from China's coronavirus outbreak would not be long-standing. Europe's broad Euro Stock 600 hit a record high, gaining 0.1% to mirror gains in Asia after a choppy start to the day. Indexes in London and Frankfurt gained 0.1% and 0.2% respectively. The Wall Street futures also pointed to a slightly higher open. Now, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi says that he did not understand why the United States was using its power and trying to get its allies to attack a private company like China's Huawei. The tech giant has been something of a pawn in a political chess game between the United States and China. During an interview, the Chinese Foreign Minister accused the US of not wanting to see other countries develop, including their businesses. Now, on Thursday, US prosecutors accused Huawei of stealing trade secrets and helping Iran track protesters in its latest indictment against the Chinese firm, escalating the US battle with the world's largest telecoms gear maker.
We cannot understand why the United States, a superpower, is attacking Huawei, a private company. Huawei is a 100% private business. It has been growing with its own diligence, hard work and wisdom. Huawei is following market rules. The only reason why the United States is doing that is maybe because Huawei is doing too well. The United States can excel and succeed and we wish them well. Why can't a Chinese company succeed by relying on its own efforts? Why can't the United States accept other countries' businesses to excel and perform well in terms of science and technology? I'm afraid that the United States doesn't want to see other countries develop. It doesn't want to see other countries' businesses grow and succeed. There have been rumors that were spreading to snare other countries' businesses. The United States has been claiming that quality products will undermine US national security. But so far, it hasn't produced any credible evidence showing that. Everything is just speculation, pure speculation. United States telecom companies do exactly this practice, as we can see from WikiLeaks and the Snowden incident. However, as far as we know, following public pledges, it has never done it and is not doing it. It can sign no backdoor agreement with any government and organization if they so wish. Isn't that enough? There is full clamor for a clash of civilization. Subconsciously, they still believe in this inferiority of Western civilization. They are not ready. They are not prepared for the development of non-Western civilization. This is not fair because all countries are equal and all countries are entitled to development.
Now then, in football, English Premier League champions Manchester City have been banned from European club competitions for the next 2 seasons after being found to have committed serious breaches of UEFA's club licensing and financial fair play regulations. Manchester City has also been fined €30 million. in a statement said that City committed serious breaches of the rules, while the Premier League club swiftly said they intend to appeal the decision to the Lausanne-based Court of Arbitration of Sport. Manchester City say they are disappointed but not surprised by the prejudicial decision. However, the punishment has no implications for City's women's team. And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.